Hi guys, this is Mark Shawson, the Pattern Trader, and we had another unprecedented chaotic opening in the U.S. stock market today. This was after U.S. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell dropped interest rates to zero over the weekend, preceding the market opening to put some underpinning and confidence back in the market. And guess what? It had exactly the opposite effect. When the markets opened, they went limit down. They were limit down all night. And then on the reopening, they went limit down again. They've traded off the limit, bounced a little bit, but now they're coming off again. And it looks pretty bad out there. Now, this has been an unbelievable last 2 or 3 weeks in the markets. We've had a 30% drop in the U.S. stock market, and we've had about a 30% drop in gold. And I and our members have made a living fortune off both of these moves. So, for the last 10 years, most people have been positioned on the long side of stocks, bonds, real estate, and anything you can think of. And this long trade has been, working and been like a living ATM machine until it wasn't. And I've been warning our members for a long, long time that, life doesn't work this way where, things just, trees don't grow the sky. I've been very fearful about this, and I saw a number of governing price patterns emerge which suggested that we were going to get monster reversals in these markets, and I've certainly rung the bell on that for myself and hopefully for thousands of our investors who receive my communications every day and every week. Now, the interesting thing, I sent out an email last night before the market opened, comparing a chart pattern that I was watching and observing back on a chart in 1929. I think you'll remember that time. It was right before the Great Depression. It was before one of the biggest market crashes on record. And when I was looking at the chart pattern dating back to 1929, I'm going to flash it on the screen here, it compares very similarly with an emerging price pattern that we see in the Dow Jones Industrials. So I don't look at the news. We see a whole bunch of news in the last week or so, how the government's, the cavalry's coming in. The government's going to give us all these bailouts and stimulus and interest rate drops, and the Fed's going to be doing bond buying, and that's going to put some underpinning and support and confidence back in the market. But to me, these chart patterns tell me everything I need to know. They are incontrovertible, meaning that once these patterns emerge, the market goes in the direction indicated by the pattern. There's almost nothing to stop it. So the Fed can do whatever it wants. Donald Trump can say whatever he wants. These markets are going to go where they're going to go if we pierce the low side of this emerging megaphone top that we see in the Dow Jones Industrials. And again, you can see the side-by-side comparison of this megaphone top that I was studying last night in 1929, and to my mind, it's looking like almost a complete overlay of what we're seeing now, which means that if the Dow Jones goes and takes out last week's lows, that we are likely to drop another 20% from current levels. And remember, we've already dropped 30% from here. So this is what I do at the Pattern Trader. I don't react emotionally, and I take advantage of what would be considered chaotic or volatile or difficult market conditions, challenging market conditions. These aren't challenging to me. These are what I live for. To my mind, when I see a governing price pattern like the double top in gold just 2 days ago at $1,700, and now gold is $1,450. I've made $250 in gold in 2.5 days. Literally $25,000 for every $1,000 that I've bet in 2.5 days. So I live for these markets. To my mind, risk is a function of knowledge. So while to most these market conditions are very risky and very volatile and you should stay out of them, to me, if you know what you're doing and you understand what's going on, this is probably the most robust market environment I've ever seen. So check out that chart from 1929 and what's happening in the Dow Jones, and see if there are any similarities, and hope that this has been a lot of value for you, and I wish you a healthy and prosperous trading day, and I'll see you next time.